Once upon a time, there was a small town named Iza. Iza was known to have some of the fastest people on earth. It was said that natives did not own cars because they were so fast and could get to their destination faster than a motor vehicle. It was actually because the town people were so poor that no one could afford one. There was only one primary school in Iza, and in school, there was the town's most beautiful girl. Her name was Emma. Emma was one of the brightest academics at her school. Her father would always tell her, "Emma, focus on your books, focus on your education, then you can live your life." One day, as Emma was leaving class with her friends, they saw the annual school running competition was going on. Everyone knew who would win, as he had won every year before. His name was Osho. Osho was the fastest and tallest guy at school. It was rumored that he once outran a cheetah. Osho was about to begin his race when he saw what he thought was the world's most beautiful girl. He told himself, "If I can just win this race, I will ask her to marry me." Of course, Osho won the race, and he immediately kept running to her. All his friends were shouting, "Osho, you already won. Where are you running to?" And he ran straight to Emma's feet. He then asked her on a date, where she agreed. Eventually, the two of them graduated with honors and got married. Immediately after marriage, Osho landed a big job in the city. Unfortunately, there was not enough money yet, so Emma had to stay behind. Osho promised as soon as he got the money, he will send for her to come and join him in the big city. Osho was very popular, just as he was in school. Everyone loved him at his job. They would go out to drink and have fun. Eventually, Osho called less and less and was sending less money to the village. Emma was still in the village, and one day she began feeling sick. She had never felt this way before, and she ran to the bathroom. Emma vomited everywhere. Later that night, she found out she was pregnant. She was very excited to tell Osho, but wanted to keep it a surprise. Osho was having so much fun in the city that he completely forgot about Emma. Emma wanted to call him and let him know the good news, but he was not answering her calls. Finally, she got a hold of him and let him know. She told him, "Also, guess what? I am pregnant." Osho did not want to stop his fun, so he told her that she should figure it out on her own. Sad and confused, Emma realized he was very serious. Months later, she gave birth to a bouncing baby boy called Ene. She cared for Ene on her own for many years. Ene was a very bright student. He had his mother's academic side and his father's athletic side. Ene would run everywhere. His mother would send him to the market, and before she could turn around, he was already back home with the goods. Everyone was hearing about his speed and gave him the nickname Bolt because he was as fast as lightning. No one knew, however, that Emma was not receiving money from Osho. Emma struggled for years to raise her son by herself. Ene eventually went to the same school as his mother and father and entered the athletic competitions that his father once dominated. Eventually, Ene grew up to be a smart young man under the care of his mother, all while he never met his father. La gave up on contacting because also stopped replying to her messages. The running competitions in Isa were different from his father's town. Now, more and more people started to find out about the town of Isa and just how fast the natives were. The National Running Association of their country went to scout students at the school. Everyone knew about Ene, and the scouts were very impressed when they saw him run. They then invited Ene to audition for the Olympics that were being held that year. Ene trained and trained and trained, and he made his country's athletic team. Ene was officially going to the Olympics. Numa wanted to call her husband one last time and let him know that their son was now an Olympian. But again, also did not pick up her calls, and they ran in the Olympics and beat out every other country that was competing, winning his country their very first gold medal ever. One day, Wa also was drinking himself to a stupor. Also and his buddies were all watching the TV. They were watching the Olympics because finally their country was being represented. And then was running in the race and was on TV being celebrated for being the winner. He was at the top of the podium with his mother by his side. Also could not believe his eyes. He wiped his eyes many times. He was still drunk and thought he was seeing things. Was that his wife and child that he never got to meet? Still in a stupor, also was telling everyone, "That is my son, that is my son." Everyone thought he is just a crazy old drunk fool, and also walked out the bar. He was running back to the village from the city, thinking that he still had his running capabilities from back in the day. He ran and ran until he couldn't run anymore. Also ran out of air and gave up the ghost. Ele never got to meet his father, but eventually became an inspiration to many young men all over the world. He became a household name and inspiration. He even opened up a school for unwanted and abandoned children in his country. Ene became a national legend in his country, even having a statue made of him in his country's capital. After his tour around the world, Eme finally returned to his hometown. While he was volunteering at his school, one of the teachers caught his eye, and they eventually fell in love and got married. They then had twins, a boy and a girl. Both children were very smart and excelled in athletics as well. His children then went on to compete and win in the Junior Olympics, and as they got older, winning more medals in the Olympics as well. This brought their country more medals and glory, making their country known worldwide. The end.